Sure.
All right, I'll let you guys jump in.
Hey.
Hi there.
How are you guys? Good. I'm Brett.
Oh, you Brett Matthews?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you wrote Supernatural briefly.
I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Many moons ago now, but yeah. Great show.
We're a Supernatural fan site. We're here today to meet
get
our
out of here.
partners on Thursday night. So.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, sure. Well, I know a little bit about those shows. Yeah.
So I have a question. So Vampire Diaries was kind of like a romance, and Originals is going like a family drama. What's kind of tone you kind of trying to capture with Legacies?
I'd say it's more a high school show.
Yeah.
In that way. I think that's the genre, which is fun because it's like teen love, and you know that's hard enough when you're human, but when you're supernatural, it's even worse. So I would say it's more that. I'd say our tone's a little lighter than, but certainly lighter than the originals, and probably lighter than the Vampire Diaries. I think if you looked at those first couple episodes of season 1 of Vampire Diaries, we exist more in that space than anything else, but we still have all the things that I think are our brand, which is horrible tragedy and epic romance, and will always have that. But I think it's a little more high school, a little more fun. Yeah.
At what point in the Originals was it decided that this was on the cards? Or
I actually don't know because I was always a Vampire Diaries writer.
Sure.
So those shows as close as they existed, and I wrote the one crossover episode, the show's crossover with Caroline Dries. So but the originals kind of existed. We shared a kitchen, and yet emotionally, they were really two different shows for writers. So I think Julie laid seeds in, and at some point realized, oh, this can really, really happen. And it all happened pretty quickly from there.
Well, the story of Hope Michelson is already a tragedy in many ways. I mean, her mother's dead, her father's first in the family, all kinds of other issues. How are you going to lighten up her story?
Well, I think that's a very fair question. I think it's one we ask ourselves every day. She is definitely somebody who's marked by tragedy and grief and is a little isolated in many ways. But you can also take sarcasm and humor and snark as a defense mechanism to all of those things. So I think what we're really trying to do is give Hope a voice that is very earnest to all the things she's been through, but also takes her forward. And she's going to be in high school with boys in a place just for her kind, but yet it's vampires, witches, and werewolves, and she's a tribrid, so even that makes her unique in that world. So the struggles will be the same, but you know, she's also trying to move on and live a life. It's like a kid who loses, you know, anybody in their life, or goes through things and just moves on. She's always had really complicated family dynamics, and she will continue to.
Well, we haven't yet seen her dynamic really with Lark and Caroline that much. So what's that relationship between the three of them going to be?
Well, I think with Rick, it's Hope's sort of life experiences allow him to treat her almost as an equal among the schools, which of course only causes shit with like all her friends. So it's like, it's tricky, you know. It's like what happens when you have a teacher's pet, and I don't want to be the teacher's pet, I'm this, but she's also special and unique, and she has abilities that are very useful to Rick, and she's also old and wise beyond her years, which Rick's isolated in the same way in the school because he's surrounded by kids and he built it for his daughters, but I think he finds a kindred spirit and hope that way, for sure.
Do you see this, I don't know, is it going to start off mostly just kind of one-man character, or you're going to try and go for more of an ensemble?
Oh, it's an ensemble cast for sure. Yeah, I mean, we have all the, you know, Josie and Lizzie, Alark's twins, like, so that's the whole thing, and MG and Raphael and Landon, and like, so it's very much an ensemble, with those guys definitely being the tips of the spear for sure. But it's truly an ensemble. Vampire Diaries was always an ensemble.
Yeah.
The originals always was, so still very much in that tone.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys good?
I hear that Matt is going to play the role that we will get to see. How much will we get to see?
I think as story dictates. You know, it's Matt's the sheriff of Mystic Falls, and you're kind of always going to have that character. You know, But it's great that it's Matt because it brings in years of history and people who have known that. And a really strong characters our fans love who has a very distinct perspective on the supernatural. So, but anytime we need him, he's there hopefully. And hopefully we can treat him, you know, take him further as a character, not just use him when he's there. And, like really find a story for him. So that's exciting.
So bringing more from the fringe and the outside into the core of the cast.
Well, I mean, who knows? I mean, we've shot for 2 days at this point, 3 days. So it's early days. But you know, Matt really is tasked with keeping Mystic Falls safe, and that's always kind of been his life's drive over the last couple episodes. So it's something he takes very seriously. So Matt would be supportive of Rick because they're friends, but if any of those kids at that school step out of line, it sort of becomes Matt's responsibility. He's in on the secret in a way no one else in town is. So God forbid what happens at the school leaks out into the town proper. I'm sure Matt will have a very strong reaction, as he always has.
One last question. I wonder with shows like this that are spin-offs or branches of other shows, how easy or difficult are you going to let it be for people who are not necessarily haven't been in the Vampire Diaries world? How easy is that going to be for them to watch?
I think really easy. Like we're definitely endeavoring to make the show you could just walk in the door and start here. And I think you can do that. That's our hope. We want to attract. This show is very like of the moment in a great way. Like the world seems like it changes so much year to year now, and it's very now in a great way. So we want people to just come in and watch it. We want to be a reflection of modern youth and modern reality. But at the same time, if you are a longtime fan, it goes much deeper, and you're going to be rewarded in a way. I mean, hopefully you fall in love with this show, and then you want to go back and see who that character was and that person they talked about. And if you do, I think you'll get rewarded on a really deep level. But we're trying to build a show that works both for longtime fans and for brand new ones. So you could just go in.
What are you secretly very happy that you got to have from the pre-existing world of the original Vampire Diaries that you get to incorporate into this show?
I'm sorry, say that again?
What are you excited about that you get to bring from those two worlds into this show?
I mean, I think all that history is valuable. All the locations and like even for me, it's like working on the show for 6 or 7 years or whatever it ended up being. A year or whenever we wrapped up the show a year and a half ago, like it was emotional. Like you thought, okay, this is the last time I'm going to be in Covington, and this is the last goodbye Salvatore house, and so to have gone through that process and now to be back is very strange and very wonderful, and be revisiting all those places. Like the emotion is real. The way we as writers and Julie and the cast feels about those places, it's very real. Like we all grew up there together. We all became a family there together, and so to go back is really unique and interesting. So I think we'll take the weight of all those things and all those relationships, like because that's where we're coming from as writers and creatively. And so it'll be fun to see Mystic Falls High School is not our high school, as the high school that doesn't like our high school. It's like the town square and all those things. It's different. The Salvatore house is now a school. Like that's crazy, that great room and where we had all those great Act 6 scenes with Stefan and Damon having bourbons and talking about life or murdering each other, and now it's a school. Like that's crazy, and it's beautiful, so we're going to use all that history because at this point it's inseparable for us. But we think those spaces speak for the fans too. Like they speak to them. Like that great room is. You just know when you're in it, like I close my eyes and tell you how that set smells, and so to be going back is crazy and amazing and wonderful, and something you don't usually get to do in life. So very, very exciting. We'll be in Covington in the town square a lot. Mystic Falls, like we thought it was over, and we're doing it again, and hopefully we're doing it better and different. And I think better is hard. I think the Vampire Diaries was a really good show, and I'm very proud of everything everybody did to make that happen. But it's a new chapter, and so it's exciting. So not be beholden to the past, but try to move forward.
What kind of villains are you going to bring in?
Definitely a lot of villains, a lot of interesting villains. I think trying to figure out what sort of supernatural threats might endanger these kids. Villains are kind of, they've always been very important to the show, and the problem we always have is we tend to turn villains into heroes. So it's tricky, you know. I mean, Klaus was the worst person in the world, and now he's the lead, you know, of his own show, and we're doing a show about his daughter, and like, so it's amazing. As opposed to Kai, where we just decided to stay the course, and we're like, no, Kai's always terrible. Which is why I loved Kai so much. I thought Kai was, you kept wanting to believe he was going to turn the corner because that's what happens on our show, and he just never did. And like, bless his heart, I loved him so much because just when you thought he was there, he would stab a knife in your back. And I love that about him. So villains are very important. We're going to do a lot of interesting things on that front, and it's a big part of the show, for sure.
I can't wait to see who they are.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. You all good?
Yeah, we're good.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. Can't wait for the show.